What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Scotty here from Blacklist Games, and oh, I've got a treat for you guys today. Super excited. We finally have a production copy of Contra the board game to unbox for you guys. This thing's been a long time coming. Labor of love for the whole team. We are huge Contra fans. We all grew up with the games. I spent way too many hours playing this as a kid. All of them. Contra, Super C, Contra 3, Alien Wars. So I'm super excited to get into this. Well, first things first, this box is crazy awesome. I want to give a huge shout out to our graphic designer Chris. He knocked this out of the park. Look at it. It looks like an old cartridge. And like the sides are cool. You've got this metallic thing going on, but check it out. The top looks like, a really fat cartridge, I guess. And the bottom looks like, the bottom of a cartridge. I feel like I should blow in there right now to make sure this thing works. And the box, the back of the box also looks like the back of an old cartridge. So I don't know if you guys, can see this, but you've got the caution label and everything. It's got some wear on it. So cool. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. My hands are sweating. It's terrible for opening boxes. There we go. Now, I've just moved this box a lot. Hopefully I didn't shake too many things loose inside. But let's find out. Move this off screen. There we go. All right. Let's take a look. All right. Rule booklet. All important. Got a handy game reference in the back as well. So if things are sort of, confusing in the heat of the action, you just have that on the table and you can just check a few things as you go. Obviously it's got a really cool intro, setting the stage. You've got all your components. By the way, this camera is like kind of my first time setup for this, so I do have a camera on the side that I'll be using to show close-ups of other things. I'll try to squeeze that in B-roll. So if you don't see anything properly right now, hopefully I'll be able to show it more clearly afterwards. But you got a breakdown of all your cards, how to set up the game, game should look set up, your game rounds, how they work, turn, some additional rules, clarifications, that sort of thing. We also got an FAQ at the end, things that came up a lot in playtesting and things like that might be things you also ask yourselves as you play, so that's there. And of course we got some optional rules for those who really want to punish themselves further, because I'm going to tell you right now, this game can be punishing if you aren't playing to the best of your ability. So, but if ever for some reason it's a little too hard or a little too easy, you can adjust that using this stuff. And there's also story mode, so we've got 2 stories included in the game, and these will basically walk you through specific setups and tell you how to take care of certain things if you want to challenge yourself with some persistent effects depending on your performance. But there we go. We got the credits at the end here. We got some nice artwork. All right, enough about the rulebook. We got stage tiles. Yes. All right, let's see this first one here. It's crazy seeing this in its final form after so many prototypes and things like that. All right, well, first things first, I guess we'll start with the jungle, which is the one everyone who's watched the previous video on Tabletop Simulator is familiar with. So, yeah, here it is. It's got great, colorful artwork, and all the lines pop, so you can see very well, what is what in terms of terrain. Super excited about this. And on the other side, we have the Waterfall. So this stage, well, I'm not going to give too much away, but let's just say that if you're not careful, you'll slip, and that's going to cause all sorts of issues. So this slip track here might give you kind of an idea of what's going on. Make your way up. The boss will be here. That's awesome. And then it stores nice and neat back in the box. Let's see what else we got. Ooh. We have the super colorful... Actually, before we get to that one, let's get to the snowfield, which, it's colorful too, but a lot of snow. Again, everything pops. This is great. This is fantastic. Cannot wait to play this. This stage here, little spoilers, I suppose. You've got some enemies that may be popping up on these numbered spaces, so you got to watch out as you play through this stage. You're going to have to keep on your toes and make sure you control those as well as other enemies. Very cool. And of course, yes, the alien lair. Super colorful. This one was definitely a challenge in terms of making sure that the terrain lines popped. But man, we did it. It looks awesome. Oh man, I can't wait to play through this all over again. Super cool. All right, what else we got in here? Ooh, we got, well, tokens. They're never, you know, that exciting, but oh, let me get these out of the box here. There we go. Punch these. So we've got 4 sheets, it looks like. Oops, I just punched some by accident. That's okay. So yeah, you've got your medals, which if you played the video games at all, you'll know these represent your lives. We got a couple of tokens here for tracking purposes. We got the pillbox sensors, so you can get your weapons out of there. A bunch of damage tokens. We got advantage tokens, and I've forgotten their names already. The wow, bubble dimers. There you go. So these are going to be using essentially as like resources to do things and generally to survive being attacked. So that's important to keep your hands on those. Bubble dimers are just a nuisance that could cause damage if you run through them. We got stage tokens here, which will be used to track different things in different stages. And we also have the enemy tokens. So these are going to be used on the board to represent where they're positioned. And you're basically going to be killing and spawning enemies relatively quickly, kind of like in the video games. That's why we have these tokens here, so you don't have to, you know, deal with miniatures with bases and clips like that on and off. So this is super handy. Yes. Oh man, it's gonna be so good. All right. Sorry, I'm just so happy to finally have something that's not a prototype. All right. I'm guessing everyone wants to see minis, so let's do those, shall we? Let me get these out of the box here. Oh, what we got? What we got? Move that lid. Okay. Oh, things did get shuffled around a bit. Actually, you know what? Let's save these just for last, right? I mean, save the best for last. All right, we got some handy dividers here. Okay, so let's move this over here and let's take a look. Basically, yeah, so these are awesome not just because they're dividers, which I'll get to in a second, but essentially, the original intent is we had profile cards for each of the characters, enemies, and stages, and, well, here they are. They are now on these thicker dividers, essentially. Basically, the profiles were created so that anyone who is not familiar with Contra lore would be able to become familiar with it in the middle of a game. So you have friends over, they don't know what Contra is. You go, all right, well, you're playing as Lance, you're playing as Lucia, here you go, read those profiles. This is the snowfield that we're playing in, and we're going up against the defense wall. So yeah, you know, you or all of them, all the players could read the profiles together, get into the story, and then, well, we sort of thought about it, and we were like, okay, well, this is definitely a smaller box, and, you know, we were mandated with sticking with a very specific box size and dimensions for various reasons. But we sort of still felt like our fans from previous games have come to sort of expect dividers when we have, you know, decks of cards in our games. And even though there's a lot less decks in this game compared to our other ones, we still kind of said, well, we have these profile cards, might as well make them dividers. So now in the box as is, you won't be able to use the dividers standing up unless you, that is, reconfigure the box by, say, removing the vac tray. Then you'll definitely have enough room inside the card well to do that. But otherwise, if you keep the box as is with all the plastic that comes in it, the vac tray and the tray, you can then instead just use these simply as their character profiles, or if you want to have your own little storage solution on the side, like for actual, you know, sort of card thing, flipping through your decks, you can, you know, totally do that. Super happy we have these profiles in there. You know, they were fun to write, but also, I mean, just as a fan of the lore, I think it's important that everyone knows who Bill and Lance are, who Sweets and Lucia are, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, super happy that these are in here. All right, let's move on to more stuff. All right, so we've got the dice. Yes. Oh, yeah, these are great. So, we've got the, hard to see here, Commando dice. Got your successes, your crits, and of course the different advantage symbols. These here, you'll be spending your advantage tokens to convert these advantage symbols into successes. And of course we have the dreaded enemy dice. These will be damaging you for certain advantage types, as you can see. There's the red one. There it is. And of course, there is the dreaded enemy special. So if you get one of these, you're going to be facing some dire consequences. So don't roll these. There's 2 on each enemy die, though, so that's going to be pretty hard to do. To not roll them, that is. But overall, yeah, very happy with these dice. All right, let's move on. We got a whole bunch of weapon cards here, so this is how you're going to power up essentially in the game. If you don't have these, well, good luck, because you need a lot of firepower to take down the enemies. We also have objective cards. Oops. And we've got the turn markers. So these are essentially just reminders to keep it handy, to keep it easy to remember who has done what on their turn. Simply because, for example, here we could take the yellow player. They're all mixed up here. So you got to move and an attack. So on your turn, you have a free move and a free attack, but other cards you play might let you get more moves and more attacks. So it might get, potentially confusing if you're like, I'm playing this card first, which lets me move for free, and another move and an attack, but you still haven't used your free ones. Well, this is how you exhaust them, basically keeping track of, okay, I've used my freebies. I can keep using cards or something like that. So super handy. Put these back here. Put this where it belongs. I think these go in here. Go. So the objective cards, these are basically surprises, I guess, waiting for you. If you watch the video, you know that at any point you can enter these objective spaces, and if you are able, you draw a card at random. Sweets does have scouting abilities that lets her sneak a peek ahead of time, but you draw a card at random, and if you have at least this many tokens in your collection, you get to accomplish the objective. Otherwise, you get what's known as the scout effect, which is kind of like a consolation prize. So yeah, all sorts of different ones in here. There. And we've got the weapons. So in this version of the game, you will have 4 copies of 4 different weapons, essentially. So that way each commando can potentially get, each gun. But also it does sort of recreate that feeling in the video game where it's kind of like, oh, I already have the machine gun or the laser. I need something else. Let me shoot that flying pillbox thing. And then, oh, it's the same gun again. Shoot. So yeah, there's a chance you'll get a duplicate, but that's just the way it goes, man. But yeah, we've got the machine gun, which lets you reroll dice during your attacks. We've got the spread gun, which lets you target an additional enemy, so that, spread gun is the best gun in the game. That's just how it is, man. It's just like in the video game. We've got the laser. This one's awesome. It basically ricochets off things to hit someone else, so that's really cool. And the flamethrower, which might be my favorite. I don't know. It doesn't have a special ability, but it rolls a heck of a lot more dice, so you can do a lot of damage with this, especially against some very, very, dangerous aliens. So there you go. That goes there. All right. Let's get some cards going. Okay. So everyone is going to get a handy-dandy Commando turn reference card. Not only does it, walk you through a turn in case you're new or you're confused, it's also a way to keep track of who has played already. So as long as this yellow bar is up, you haven't gone yet. But if it's like this, you have played this turn, this round. So good way to keep track if there's a lot of players in the game. We've got mission cards. These are essentially, this is important. The awesome Contra C here, Flaming C. I love it. Basically, this is going to allow you to accomplish objectives on the board, and if you can accomplish those objectives, you get bonus powers, essentially. So in this version of the card, if you get the red objective, you put the flag there, and during your attacks, you can convert any number of red advantage results to successes. So that'll make more sense when you play the game, but it's a very powerful ability and almost impossible to defeat certain conditions unless you've got this powered up. So definitely important. All right, we got Bill's deck over here. We've got his character card. Let me just actually do this. Okay, so we've got Bill's deck over here. Nice back. So his character card's going to go down. It has all of his stats, essentially. His rifle damage, the range, and his special ability, which you pay for by spending advantage. So again, advantage, you can use it to boost up your abilities, but also you need it to defend yourself. So it's one of those push your luck, resource management kind of things. Sustain fire, pinpoint accuracy, let him have it. Oh, this is his once per deck card. Each commander is going to have multiple copies, as you can see, of certain cards, but each of them has a single once per deck card, and you'll know it's that one because it says each commando may, so it's super powerful because you get everyone else to play out of turn, essentially. Flank attack, mobility, so this lets you move a little bit more. Power through, this is a Bill specialty, so he gets advantage distributed amongst the table, so that's pretty cool. Prepare, this is a common card to all the decks. You basically get more advantage, so that's that. Okay. So, got Lance's deck over here. Character card. A few more common cards that you've seen already in Bill's deck, but of course he also has some unique ones that are specific to him. Most of them revolve around agility. Lance's thing is that he's, you know, quicker than the rest. Here's his once per deck. Okay, so yeah, we've got Lucia's deck over here. That artwork, such a cool character. So her thing here. So Lance's special ability, which I sort of skipped, was that he can make people move around the board faster and stuff. So that's really cool. Lucia can basically manipulate the board state. That's kind of her thing. She messes with the enemies so that, you know, if they're in one place 1 second, well, they won't be for long. And also, she can manipulate them into coming into certain traps that she can trigger, such as her Shockwave Pulse, which is sort of like an EMP that emanates from her core and does some damage to pretty much everyone around her. Smoke cover, basically, you get to help people move. More mobility. Her once per deck is super cool. Basically, each commando can resolve 2 different effects on this card in any order. So they can attack, move, or draw 1 card. You can choose 2 of those, basically. And one of her amazing special abilities that's unique to her is weapon located. So she can send her little drone guys out anywhere on the board to find a weapon and bring it back to her or to another commando. So instead of having to go to the weapon comes to you. So that's super, super helpful. Sweets over here. We've got, there she is, Recon Expert. So she's really cool. She can help herself or any other commando re-roll a die, which doesn't sound that powerful, I guess, but it's super important, especially with enemy dice, which could result in the enemies unleashing more powerful attacks. So it's expensive, but it's worth it. It's worth taking the gamble. Sustain Fire, Return Fire, that's one of her unique cards, well, to her deck, I should say. So choose a commando to attack, gaining +1 die if they have at least 1 green token, so that's really cool. Scouting Report, like I was saying, this is one of her specialties as well. She can sneak a peek at the objective deck. Subtle Approach, my favorite card in the game. She's so sneaky that she can move farther and faster than anyone else, ignore a whole bunch of special effects on the board, and she does damage to an enemy that she's adjacent to when she ends her movement based on the number of tokens she has. So that's super deadly, super cool. And there's her once per deck. Heedless. Yeah, I'll let you discover it on your own. Okay, let's keep going. We have the Defense Wall, the first enemy, I guess, to look at. This is a difficulty 1 enemy. So this doesn't mean you're never going to play it again after you've beaten it, right? This doesn't mean it's a novice enemy. It just means that this is 1/2 of, you know, the stage combo, where you got stage and enemy. So you can keep using this difficulty 1 enemy on difficulty 2 and 3 stages. So it's a way to, like, you know, test yourself and try more difficult stages without making it super crushingly difficult. So basically every enemy's going to have one of these, which has a setup. This one doesn't have a setup, so it's okay. You flip it over, it has special rules that you got to keep in mind when you're playing. And then there are 4 boss components for each boss, and basically each commando is going to get one of these. You can attack each other's components, that's fine. The only reason why each commando gets one is so you know when it triggers, essentially. They each have their own unique health values, so you can imagine if you got all 4 commandos in play, that means you have all 4 boss components in play. That means you got to do a lot of damage together, and also there's a lot of special effects that might occur, and yeah, you'll have to be on your toes. Play smart. And then what else we got? And we got, yes, the enemies that come out of the defense wall, essentially. These are the 3 that are going to be causing you problems. We've got the Greeter Scout, we got the Sniper Recruit, and we've got the Light Gunner, which has a hefty 6 health, so watch out for those. What else we got here? Okay, so we got Garmakilma. Get his stuff. There we go. Okay, so Garmakilma, he is a difficulty 2 boss. Essentially, he's kind of like a, the easiest way to explain it is he's a souped up, more difficult version of the defense wall, but there's a bit more to it than that as well. He uses the bubble dimers, which is basically illusionary tech that scatters itself throughout the stage and will cause all sorts of problems with movement and might damage you in the process. So there you go. All those special rules I just mentioned are here. And they have handy little thematic names to them so you can remember, oh, where's that don't move through them rule? Oh, there it is. That's what that means. And hopefully they're logical as well, so you'll know which one to look up if you're looking for a certain situation. Like, what happens if I move through them? Well, don't move through them. All right, so we got the... Oh yeah, I forgot to mention too. So we got the 4 components for Garmakilma here. The main component, which is the 1-player one. Every component has a little number or a pip underneath, and that tells you how many players are in the game when it's used. So this is the 1 pip boss, which means it's always used when there's at least 1 player. If there's 2 players, you use Garmakilma and spread cannons, and so on and so forth. But yeah, whenever you defeat a boss, you actually, or a component, you flip it to its defeated side. So whatever special abilities it had are gone. Or maybe it might have new special abilities because it's been enraged or something. So you'll have to find out. Alright, so that's that. And then what else we got? We got the enemies that come out of Garmakilma, or at least protected. So we got another set of greeters, but these are the greeter carriers. So they play completely differently than the greeter scouts from the defense wall. We got Wrangle. I'm not even going to tell you what he does. You'll have to find out. Just basically don't let too many bubble dimers accumulate on the board is all I can tell you. And Garth. This guy is going to keep following you, and he's going to make it really hard to move away from him. So yeah, watch out for him. Okay, moving on. Gordea, the huge man thing with the saw blade on his armor. So he's unique because he's not a multi-space boss. He's not like gigantic, but he's still bigger than a human being. But you'll see that in a second. But yeah, so he has his own special rules. One called I Think I Just Made It Angry. I'll let you find out what that means when you play. Gordea himself doesn't have multiple components because he's just one being. But he has different facets, if you will. So the more players in the game, the more chances are he'll get enraged. And oh, he has a special ability on the backside here. Oh, I'm not going to tell you what it is. We got the Wrangle that you saw before, but this is the Wrangle Sharpshooter. So he's going to make life difficult for you. 5 health. We got a 6 health Sniper Elite. Not the Sniper... rookie sniper, novice, I forgot the name for the other guy, but the less good sniper. Less good, my vocabulary is awesome. So yeah, he does a whole bunch of stuff too. And the heavy gunner as opposed to the light gunner that you saw in the first deck. He's got 7 health on top of that. Yeah, let's just say that they support Gordea a lot. So you're going to have a lot of choices to make. Do we go after Gordea? Do we take out his henchmen? Oh boy. Alright, and last but not least, we have the big mother. We got Java himself, or itself, I guess. So Java is pretty much, he looks a little different than you might remember him, but maybe there's a reason for that. And you got a simple rule in the back here that talks about hatching stuff. So maybe there's things that hatch in his deck. Let's find out. The main component is the giant beating heart of Java, known as Gomeramos King. So if you're playing 1 player, this is the boss, but if you're playing 2 players, you've got this component. 3 players, you got his head, and 4 players, well, there you go, the eggs. There's 2 different sets of eggs. And what comes out of the eggs? Oh no, well, the buggers. So, what do they do? Oh, well, they bug you. So they're pretty easy. They got 4 health, so it shouldn't be too bad, right? Oh, and I forgot to mention, Gordea was a difficulty 2 boss. You can see that there. Oh, my camera. So Gordea is 2, and so is Garmakilma, but Java is, of course, difficulty 3 boss. We got some infected greeters. So these greeters, I mean, just like in the video game, the original Contra, they're everywhere. These are infected. What does that mean? Who knows? And there's some missing here. Let's get this last pack of cards open. Okay. So yes, more infected greeters. Oh, and of course, joining the infected greeters, there must be infected Garths. So just when you thought it was safe, more Garths show up, but this time they're even more annoying. So that's that for the 4 bosses. They all play very differently, and the way they play differently will also affect the different stages. All right, so first up, we've got the jungle, which is represented by the jungle stage tile. You got your setup card, you got your special rules, and of course, you have different things that can show up for like hazards and terrain. Each stage will have these, and then you've got the deck itself, the stage deck, which is not very many cards. That's because it's a timer. So you're going to shuffle these, basically, every time you play. Some variants will mess with this. You'll see those in the rule book. But generally, yeah, you're going to be going through these. You don't know what's going to happen. We got the Waterfall. Ooh la la. Look at that beautiful water. So we got the same thing. Setup card, reference card. We've got a couple of terrain cards that are unique to this Waterfall. So we got stone platforms, if you remember those in the game, down. Ripples, which might have things come out of them, such as Akuba, that scuba gear looking guy who pops out of the waterfall in the video game and just shoots you. So if you're near those ripples, watch out. And of course, steep falls, those are quite possible at the heights you're going to. Watchers above, and we got gaining ground. Ooh, again, I'm not going to read all these. I'm going to let you discover that when you play. Okay, what's next? We have the snowfield. So, Grenadiers, what does that mean? Oh, Grenadiers again. Don't know. Oh, the Grenadiers damage, that's a special card. What is that? Who knows? And of course, we've got some events for you. And again, if you run out of events, it's game over. Locking them in. Abandoned gun nest. Ooh. A cleared path. And the Dogra Mark II. Oh, there's a big tank there. What is that? We'll find out. The Alien Lair. Well, difficulty 3. Oh, I forgot to mention those. So yeah, the jungle is difficulty 1. The waterfall and the snowfield are difficulty 2. And the Alien Lair is difficulty 3. So we've got setup again. Acid pools. Water spaces. What is that? The infection spreads. Oh, we got some cool art here of Bill lighting stuff on fire. Lance just chopping away with his knife. Ooh, alien symbiosis. Poor Sweets is hanging from a ledge here or something. She's got white eyes. What's going on? Water surge. Well, that can't be good. And seeking hosts. That really can't be good. Okay. So I teased you before, but now we're doing it for real. Let's do these minis. Alright folks, here I am with my handheld camera, simply because my overhead camera had some difficulties with the focusing. So, yeah, we've got the heroes of the game, the Commandos, the Contras themselves. We have Lance and Bill over here. I'll try to focus a bit more on Bill. There we go. Lots of guns, lots of muscles, lots of headbands, lots of pouches. And of course, we have Lucia and Sweets. Lucia with her gigantic rifle, and Sweets with her gigantic blade, and of course her hair is flowing in the wind. Very cool. Very happy with how these turned out. Let's take a look at the bosses. Okay, and here we have Gordea the Titan with his arm blade over here. Very cool. Of course, Lance is here for scale. Trying to take care of this beast who's about to crush him. And then we'll just slide on over here. And we've got Bill, who's faced with both Garmakilma, which has some cool battle damage there, which is pretty awesome. And of course, the defense wall itself, I'll pull back a bit more. It's got its cannons here, the core. So Bill's got to take those out.
And of course, we have what I think is so cool, the Gomaramos King, the Heart of Java, translucent red, which is so awesome. And of course, we've got, oops, Sweets and Lucia here, ready to take it out for scale. And yeah, let me put in some B-roll here of the bosses on the map so you guys can see what it looks like in the game. And yeah, I hope you guys like what you see. So many cool little minis. Oh, little. They're quite gigantic. They got some great board presence. So I think everyone who's going to be playing this with friends is going to get a lot of wows, and that's so cool at the table. And of course, you know, everyone's going to be making machine gun noises with their mouths, like, and you know, explosion sounds. It's like playing with toys.
Alright, well that was the unboxing. Let's put everything away. I've already gone ahead and I've bagged my tokens the way I like it ahead of time just because I'm so excited. So, yeah, you got your cards, you got your dice, enemy tokens and stage tokens, your weapon cards. And we'll put these here, and then we'll put our important miniatures here, like so. Stage stuff. I got my fancy damage tokens right here. Advantage tokens, and of course my medals and my objectives. And I'm now ready to store this until, well, I get to play it, which I hope will be very soon. And that's it, folks. That was the unboxing of Contra the board game. I hope you're excited. If you are interested in getting this game, keep following us on blacklistgamesllc.com, where we'll have some more information soon on how you can get it. Until next time, I'm Scotty. Keep playing those Blacklist games.